This is footage of 19-year-old Alexia Trevizo. She came to the hospital with a back problem, but what she did in the bathroom left everyone completely horrified.
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall.
In fact, the girl gave birth, but no one knew she was pregnant. To avoid the mother's anger, she decided to hide the child's body in a garbage can, from which it died. The police became interested in this disgusting case, and the way it ended up shocked everyone. On January 27th, the events began when Trevizo gave birth to her newborn son in the hospital bathroom. However, instead of seeking help or care for her child, she allegedly proceeded to kill him. The gruesome discovery was made when the hospital staff found the lifeless body of the newborn stuffed inside a trash can.
When I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it. But I knew that didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom. And so I started getting the trash out. And then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front, because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it, baby was wrapped up like in like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it, like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
okay,
where they were throwing the trash at. When I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
You like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was like, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type color.
In the aftermath of what can only be described as a horrific act, the gravity of the situation was captured by a body camera worn by one of the medical professionals. When they confronted Trevizo about the baby, the medical professionals were visibly disturbed by the horrifying scene before them, which was compared to a gory scene from a horror movie. According to accounts from the medical staff, Trevizo had initially complained of back pain and was admitted to the emergency room. She was observed leaving her patient room and heading towards the bathroom while clutching her back around 1:38 a.m. The surveillance video from the hospital showed her spending approximately 19 minutes inside the bathroom. During this time, several people checked on Trevizo, expressing concern for her well-being. However, she repeatedly assured them that she was fine, simply experiencing difficulties in using the bathroom. The medical staff recalled knocking on the bathroom door and offering assistance, but Trevizo declined, stating that she didn't require any help.
At some point I went and kind of checked on her, knocked on the door, seen if she needed anything. She denied. She said she didn't need anything.
Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Flush, you told her flush?
Yes, after a while I started hearing, so I probably checked on her 2 to 3 times, I'm not exactly sure. And then I just kept hearing paper towel dispenser and flushing and like the water running. And I knocked again, did she need anything? Denied anything. And then eventually it got to a point where I said, you need to come out. And I asked the clerk to get the key to unlock the door, because obviously she locked the door to go to the restroom. And whenever we finally had the key to unlock it, she opened it and just kind of walked out.
Did she say anything at that point?
She didn't say anything. She was just looking kind of straight past me and went back to the room.
When Trevizo finally emerged from the restroom, she appeared emotionless and walked past the medical staff without saying a word. At this point, hospital staff entered the restroom and saw a scene that can only be described as horrifying. The walls and toilet bowl were covered in blood, creating an eerie resemblance to a scene from a horror movie. While investigating the disturbing incident, the police interviewed several people who witnessed the bloody scene in the toilet. They described fresh blood spatters on the walls, floor, and near the toilet. The police tried to understand the cause of such splashes, comparing them to the effect of tearing or cutting something when blood is forcefully splattered. The nursing staff, not realizing what had happened, continued to care for Trevizo, initially believing that she had miscarried. When she came out of the restroom, there were traces of blood in her room. The doctor explained to her that she had suffered a miscarriage, although the exact words and the manner in which they were conveyed remained unclear. Minutes later, the cleaning staff arrived to sanitize the bathroom in the emergency room. They were tasked with cleaning the patient's bathroom, which was described as a bloody massacre. After going through the extensive process of cleaning the bathroom twice, the cleaner prepared to dispose of the trash bag. However, upon lifting the bag, she felt something weighty. Upon closer inspection, she discovered a newborn baby wrapped in the bottom of the trash can with trash on top of it inside a trash bag.
And then when I picked it up, that's when I noticed it even more, because all I saw was black and purple, but once we picked it up, like the bag suctioned to his face. And that's when I yelled for my charge nurse, which was HT. And I told him, hey, she put her baby in the trash can. So I handed the baby to him, and he took off to the trauma room and opened up the bag. And then that's when we went and got Dr. Vasquez.
Overwhelmed by the shocking discovery, she immediately alerted the nurses and called for assistance. A nurse called to the scene confirmed the disturbing moment the infant was found, emphasizing the striking contrast of the infant against the dark background.
The umbilical cord looked like an animal had torn it apart. Like, You know, have you ever eaten string cheese? Like, you know, when you twist it, that's how the bottom of the umbilical cord looked. And I just remember it caught my eye, and I was like, God, this chick really ripped this thing apart.
After removing the lining and finding another bag, she opened it and discovered a baby inside. The baby was placed on the bed for examination, but did not show signs of life. A doctor was immediately called to the room, and after assessing the baby's condition, it was determined that resuscitative measures were futile. The nurse further concluded that Treviso had deliberately concealed her pregnancy from the medical staff. In the nurse's opinion, she manipulated the patient, wore baggy clothing to conceal her condition, and exhibited evasive behavior during examinations.
It seemed like she'd been trying to hide this pregnancy from her mother for some time. So if you know you're pregnant, you're not going to continue taking birth control pills. But if you're trying to hide it, you might start taking weight loss medications. That's just kind of what it seemed like in my head.
The nurse believed that Treviso was trying to hide her pregnancy from her mother and others. Following this discovery, the medical staff contacted the police and questioned Treviso about their findings. Treviso recounted that she sat on the toilet and everything came out. However, she admitted that when she picked up the baby, he was not breathing or moving. In her own words, she put the baby in the trash can. Nurses who communicated with Treviso after the infant was found noted that she never once inquired about the baby's condition. Instead, she was most concerned about any problems the mother might have. They were surprised that no one had asked her about the baby's well-being, whether it was alive, dead, what sex it was. According to the nurses, Treviso showed a remarkable lack of emotion and anxiety. She had no tears, and all her attention was focused on her fear of trouble with her mother.
Did they have any comments?
Not one.
Really?
I was really surprised not one person asked me about the baby. If it was alive, if it was dead, if it was a boy, if it was a girl, no one asked me anything. She didn't even ask. No, she didn't ask. The only thing she started doing was crying and started talking about she didn't know what to do. Not one. I've never seen I've delivered multiple babies and I've seen multiple miscarriages, and I've never seen a reaction like that. And I don't even know what to say about that. I've never seen anything like it.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself, and she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just, and the only thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother.
Treviso's main questions were about what would happen to herself, and she didn't mention or ask about the baby. Her concern about problems with her mother was obvious, and she struck up a conversation with her mother about sexual contact. Without revealing herself, Treviso categorically denied the mother's accusations. Although the situation seemed undeniable, it was clear that at this point Treviso was attempting to maintain her virgin status after returning from the bathroom.
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Like what's going to happen to me? Like that kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
She essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have the back and forth with her mother that was just about like, they had said, oh, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that, and then she was just denying it, which was a little wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom.
Treviso's lack of emotional response and her ability to perform her actions without apparent distress left the staff puzzled and anxious. The baby appeared to be of considerable size, indicating that it could have been full term. One staff member expressed sympathy for Trivia, recognizing that she may have felt considerable pressure from her controlling mother.
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married, or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks, and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went into that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way, to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. Pretty good size.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I mean, I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance. to save that baby. I had no chance, and that's not what I do. My job is to save lives, and I had no chance on that baby. She gave me no chance. And we are a facility that you can drop the baby off, no questions asked. You can just leave the baby and go. I don't care, as long as you bring the baby to a safe. We are one of those type of hospitals, so it's hard to fathom what was going on in her mind.